Good morning, fellow firewood lovers. This is Chris, and we are once again in the wood yard. Today is going to be splitting and cutting, and then more splitting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wheelbarrow full of all the cookies and chunks, and I'm going to go put them in my cookie chunk pile. I do that probably like once a day when I'm splitting. I get about that many of the ends that I just put into a pile, and I do sell them. One of the other things I've been doing, I don't know if I talked about it, but as I split, I take the pieces that are just bone dry when I split them, that require no additional drying time. I throw it off into the side, and some loads I'll get 2, 3, 4 face cords. Some loads I only get a little bit like this one, because this was fresh cut green wood. As you can see, there's not much dead stuff in here. I think there's one more like right here, but this is all pretty much stuff that's green, so it's going to need more drying time, obviously. So we're going to go dump this wheelbarrow full of cookies and chunks into the pile. So I'll put you guys on here so you can get a little ride, and we're gonna take it over to the cookie pile. Uh-oh, my wheelbarrow, I'm afraid, seems to be not moving very good. I think my tire needs some air again. About once a week I have to put some air into it. It's starting to go flat again. So normally I have this pile really close to where I do most of my cutting, but this pile I put way out into the field because I'm running out of room where I can store wood. So once a day I have to take the wheelbarrow full and take it over to the pile. You guys are turned so you can see. Alright, here's the here's the pile. And that's pretty much solid chunk from the last couple of years. I did sell 2 loads last year, and I got a guy that will, again, this year he said he would buy as much as I have. He said he'd buy all of it because he likes it for heating in his garage and his little wood stove he's got in his garage. He has a workshop out there, so yeah, I just chuck these into the pile. I used to dump them, but the pile's getting too big to dump now, and I want to get it up. And then what I'll probably do is, once the snow melts, once we get to spring eventually, the high school kid, the teenager that works for me, I'll have him kind of consolidate this up into a closer pile and move a lot of the stuff from this end up, so we get it kind of up against this pile. And I got the garage guy that buys these, and I got another guy that's got a cabin up north. He comes and gets 2 truckloads every year too. We just fill the back of his truck. I think I usually charge him like $100 just to fill the truck up, pretty much as full as he wants. I figured it out. It's, you can get about a face cord and a half, or a half a full cord into a pickup. So that's pretty much what I've been charging them, and they seem to be happy. Because normally for a full cord and a half into a pickup is about $160, $170, something like that is normally what I charge. So they get 110 a face cord. So yeah, I usually charge about that much. And I only have a few people that pick up here, guys that I know that want wood, that are taking it like to their cabin where they're not. It's not local. They're taking it a ways. So anyway, these babies chucked out of here. Normally I use 2 hands, it goes a little faster, but I gotta hold you guys somewhere. Okay, there's the pile. And I'm going to give you a little ride again. There you go. Go the other side this time. Ooh, kind of bouncy. So we'll make our way over to the pile and start the splitter up. First I gotta gas it up, and we'll start it up, and then we'll split for a few hours. I'm thinking there's at least, there's gotta be close to 6 face cords in this pile. That's at least 2-3 hours of splitting for me. So there, got a little ride. We're back. There's the pile, there's the splitter, and it's time to go to work. I am back, and the splitting for now is done. I just did, it had to be close to, I don't know, 4.5, 5 hours, something like that of splitting. It was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, there's the pile back there. As you can see, it's getting bigger. Got another wheelbarrow full of chunks I got to go dump. And these bad boys right here are a little more than I want to lift. They are some pretty big chunks. So, and that's not just that they're big. There's a branch here, and then on the other side there's a knot here, a knot here, knot there, and then on the other side there's a branch that was cut off. So I know the whole thing is pretty knotty. Same thing on this one. There's a knot there, and then there's a center here,
and then a branch that was cut off over here. So I know this is going to be very difficult to split with an axe or splitting axe. This one also knots, and then over here there's knots too. Over on this side there's knots down there. So instead of trying to lift them and trying to kill myself, trying to get out the splitter, because they probably weigh 150, 200 pounds, I don't know, they're heavy. I'm going to bring my chainsaws out and I'm going to rip them. I'm going to cut them right like this, all the way down through the middle. Just cut them in half, each one of them, and that way I can lift them up a lot easier and get them on the splitter. And then I'm going to cut into the pile here. So I'm going to go get the saws and I'll be right back. I am back. I got changed into some cutting clothes, took care of a bunch of phone calls, and so now I'm only going to have about an hour and a half to cut, maybe 2 tops, and it'll be getting dark, so I won't be able to cut the rest of the pile today here. I'll get halfway through it probably, but that's better than nothing. I brought the saws out, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rip these pieces in half. So that they're easier to handle with the splitter, because I don't want to have to whack on them with the splitting axe or the maul, because there's so many knots. I know I would end up just all sweaty and hot and tired and all that good stuff. So I'm going to rip them, and I am going to get you guys set up here. I'll put you on one of the logs so you can kind of watch what I'm going to do, because I'm going to cut that one that direction. So put you right here, and you should be able to see pretty good for what I'm going to do. Right from there, let's just see. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good right there. There, I got them ripped, and they're in halves now, so much easier to lift, much easier to split. I can work around the knots. So there they are. So if you get a piece that you don't want to lift, if you don't have a lifter on your splitter, just rip them. Obviously, you don't want to have a little weenie saw. If you got a saw that's like less than 50 cc's, it's probably not the best thing to do. You need quite a bit of power to rip through those, and it's oak, so a little bit tougher wood. Looks like one's red oak. I know it looks like they're all red oak from what I can see. Anyway, just ripping them like that makes it a lot easier that way because they're manageable to handle. So if you get any big chunks, that's what I do instead of beating on them with a splitting maul or a splitting, especially if they're knotty. It's much easier to just rip them like that, so you can save a lot of energy instead of pounding with a maul or a splitting axe. The pieces would be much easier to handle now, and if they wouldn't have had any knots, then yeah, you can take a splitting maul or an axe and just knock the corners off, or if you got a crack through the middle, pop it in half, and then you can lift it onto your splitter, no problem. Or tip your splitter up too. You could tip your splitter up, but this is pretty fast to do it this way. So okay, we're gonna go and start cutting on the pile there now. First I have to make an avalanche because this is all hung up here, so I think I can pry that off and should all come down this way. So we'll get that going. Well, that's all she wrote. So odds are out of gas. I'm out of gas, and it's getting dark out. So sun is setting right now. So I'll throw some of these up in the pile and call it a day. I think I did enough damage for one day. I got some splitting done. I got some cutting done. I wanted to get the whole pile done and just got too late of a start. And I had about an hour's worth of work, hour and a half I had to do inside my other business. So I lost some time there, but that's okay. I got plenty done. I'll give you a peek here at what we did. By we, I mean me and the turd in my pocket. There we go. So you should be able to hear me now, I think. There we go. Let's undo this. I got everything plugged in right. So here's what's left. It's just right here, just that little bit. So, and then here's what I got done. All these rounds here, pretty good pile, I guess. It's probably, usually if I cut a full tank of gas on my saw, I get about 2 face cords, sometimes 2.5. If I'm cutting really good stuff, but there's a lot of crooked ones in here and a lot of pieces I had to trim off, stuff like that. But I think that's probably, I'd say 6 face cords, 2 full cords, pretty close to that. Doesn't matter, it's all got to be done. So I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you were entertained, and if you could, see if you can manage to lift your finger and poke a button or 2. If you like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. I will see you tomorrow. Same wood time, same wood channel. Over and out.